Have you ever had that $1 million app idea, that spark for a tool that you just know could completely change your business? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that exact journey, how to take a brilliant concept and turn it into a real, custom-built piece of software. Let's dive in.
So, you've got the spark, this game-changing idea for an app. But let's be honest, there's a huge gap between having an idea and holding a finished product. The real question is, how do you actually get it built? We're going to give you the map to get from point A to point B. Okay, first things first, let's get on the same page. Software development isn't just about a bunch of people typing code. It's a really disciplined, structured process. Think of it less like magic and more like being an architect, but for the digital world. It's all about turning an idea into something real that solves actual problems and can grow right along with your business. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the why, the core concept. Then we'll check out the developer's toolkit, walk through the entire 9-step building process, see it in action in the real world, and finally, we'll talk about how to find the right expert team to make it all happen.
You might be wondering, why not just use something that's already out there? It's a fair question, but the answer is simple. Custom software is about getting a perfect fit. It's a tool designed specifically for your unique business, your goals, and your challenges. It becomes a real driver for growth, not just a compromise.
Okay, so if a custom fit is the goal, what tools do we use to get there? Well, when you partner with a development company, you're not just hiring coders. You're getting access to a whole toolbox of services, all designed to bring your vision to life. And here's what's inside that toolbox. You've got everything from custom-tailored solutions to web and mobile apps for both iOS and Android, and even massive enterprise systems. It also includes making sure the app is beautiful and easy to use. That's UI/UX design, and, crucially, ongoing maintenance to keep it running perfectly long after it's launched. It's the whole shebang.
All right, this is where it all comes together, the 9-step process. The absolute best way to think about this is like building a house. You wouldn't just start hammering nails without a detailed blueprint, right? Well, the exact same principle applies here. This process makes sure nothing is left to chance.
Phase 1 is all about that blueprint, and notice how much work happens before a single line of code gets written. We start with a deep dive into your goals, then a feasibility study to make sure the whole thing is actually viable. Then comes the master plan and the design for how people will actually use it. Nailing this foundation is what prevents those costly changes and budget nightmares down the road.
So once that blueprint is locked in, it's time to build. This kicks off with prototyping, making mock-ups so you can click around and validate the ideas. Then the core development begins, with clean, efficient code. But it doesn't stop there. After that comes rigorous testing to make sure everything is bulletproof before the big launch. And even after it's live, ongoing maintenance keeps it secure and running smoothly.
We've seen the process, but what does it actually produce? This isn't just a bunch of theory. This stuff delivers real, game-changing solutions for businesses in pretty much every industry you can imagine.
Take a look. In healthcare, for example, custom software is what makes things like telemedicine possible. In finance, it's powering fraud detection systems. For e-commerce, it's optimizing everything from inventory to customer analytics. Every single solution is precisely tailored to solve that industry's specific problem.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Here's a real-world example from the CEO of Tudo Delivery. He points out two huge things here. Speed. They got a complete solution in about 5 months. And problem solving. It just goes to show you, a true partner doesn't just build. They work with you to jump over any hurdles.
And here's another angle from the CEO of Park. He makes a great point. The final product wasn't just functional. It was a high-quality, professional solution that was ready for a market launch and good enough to present to investors. That's the level of quality a great partner delivers.
This brings us to our last and maybe our most important section. That whole structured process we just walked through, it's only as good as the team making it happen. Choosing the right development partner isn't just another item on a checklist. It's probably the single most important decision you'll make. So what should you be looking for? Well, you want an agile process that can adapt, not some rigid plan that's going to break. You need solutions that can grow with you, not something that's going to be obsolete in a year. And most importantly, you need a team with real expertise, not one that's learning how to do this on your time and your money.
When you're looking at partners, look for the proof in their numbers. A customer retention ratio like 95%, that's a huge indicator of trust and client satisfaction.
You should also look for deep experience. A number like 2,500 plus delivered projects. That tells you a team has seen and solved a ton of different problems. And finally, check out their reach. Serving clients in over 40 countries? That demonstrates global trust. These are the kinds of numbers that build real confidence.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Building custom software can seem incredibly complex, maybe even a little intimidating, but it really doesn't have to be. With the right expert partner guiding you, all that complexity transforms into a clear, manageable, and honestly, exciting path to growing your business.
And that leaves us with one final, powerful question. That brilliant idea you have, it's waiting. It has all the potential in the world to grow, to innovate, and to succeed. The only real question left is, who are you going to trust to build it with?